I'm Nick Seco from HomeRight Windows and Doors, and we're located in Waynesboro, Pennsylvania. So we do vinyl replacement windows, we do steel and fiberglass entry doors, we do aluminum storm doors, and we do sliding patio doors, all made by Provia. The windows are a vinyl replacement window, and it could be anything from double hungs to casements to bay and bow windows and everything in between. So when somebody calls in the office and needs an estimate, they get Roxanne on the phone typically, and she would schedule an appointment for me to come out and take some measurements, provide some literature, go through what options we have, and then I would follow up within about 24 to 48 hours with an estimate with all the details of the products as well as the installed price. I find that we're typically much more affordable than the companies that you see advertising on TV or in a lot of other places. If they're spending a lot of advertising dollars, obviously they're passing those costs on to their consumers. You could go to our website at homerightwaynesboro.com, or you could call us at 717-749-4874.
Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk TriState.
Dan Dedona here with the weekly update from localnews1.org. That's all the news from the local area, including Chambersburg, Hagerstown, Waynesboro, Greencastle, Fairfield, Smithsburg, all the communities that make up our local area. I'm going to start off with 5 things to do this weekend. Number 1, in Waynesboro, Main Street Waynesboro is hosting its 9th annual Wizarding Weekend in downtown Waynesboro. That'll be on today, August 1st, and tomorrow, August 2nd. This is it's kind of interesting. This is a Harry Potter themed kind of an event with witches, wizards, and muggles of all ages. They go downtown. They participate in a lot of activities, including a wizarding treasure hunt, a magical high tea, a Harry Potter pub crawl. I assume that's for the older wizards in the crowd. And Beauregard Alley magical shops. The events are unfold across Main Street Park, Tranquil Tea Room, and other local venues. This is kind of interesting because for 9 years now, it's been growing and growing and growing. They keep getting more and more people coming in from outside of the immediate Waynesboro area, so it's a pretty good event. There's way more than we can cover here, but take a look at their website, mainstreetwaynesboro.org, find out more about what's happening when. Second item, also very, very big event, is Greencastle's Old Home Week. That'll be taking place from Saturday, the 2nd through the 9th of August. This is a great thing. Many of you who have moved away from home, occasionally I go back to Detroit every once in a while. I just love to drive back through the old neighborhood. And I remember all the kids I used to play with and see how the house is doing. Well, this is like something like that, except it's organized on a community scale. It's done every 3 years, has been done every 3 years since 1902. And they just literally get thousands of people who come back to see old friends, see the neighborhood, tell stories, tell lies. It's a good time. An awful lot of activity all this week. There'll be a community photo on August 6th at 11 a.m. That'll be $40 per print if you'd like a copy of that. There'll also be a Pirate and Mermaid Day at Mars Spring Pool on August 2nd from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. But there's an awful lot more that's going on all week. Check out their website, oldhomeweek.org/events, to see more about what's going on. Third item on the list, in Chambersburg, they are going to have their End of the Summer Festival hosted by Mike Waters Park, located at 498 2nd Street. It's a free celebration. It takes place on Saturday, August 2nd from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Promises a day of family-friendly activities, including a splash pad, face painting, glitter tattoos, tie-dyes. You have to bring your own shirt. Playground fun, a lot of other activities. The highlight will be an Air Weaver balloon show at 11 a.m. So in case of rain, you should know that they're not going to just cancel it. They're going to move the entire festivities over to the Coyle Free Library. So something there for everybody. Next up, Delightful Dairy in Williamsport, Maryland is hosting a free family movie night featuring the classic film Babe. That'll be on Saturday, August 2nd at 8:30 p.m. This will be one of these outdoor events where you're invited to bring blankets and chairs and snacks. There will be some grill sizzling until 8 p.m., and then other concessions will include popcorn, fried curds, ice cream afterwards. For details, check out their website or call them at 301-223-0032. And finally, as if we didn't have enough world domination problems, Washington County Playhouse is going to be offering Little Shop of Horrors. It's going to be a long-running show starting Friday the 1st at 6 p.m., and then for the rest of this weekend, it'll be at Saturday at 6 p.m., and on Sunday, there'll be a matinee at 1 p.m. But the production is actually going to run all the way through August 24th. This is a story about a man-eating plant with a taste for rhythm and blues and world domination, who runs into a rather hapless floral assistant who has to deal with the problem. It's a pretty good show. If you've never seen, there's a movie like this as well, but like most things, if you see a performance like this live, it's just different, and it's always worth going to see. So those are the 5 things to do this weekend. Now we'll move into the news from the past week. In Washington County, the Gaming Commission allocated $2.3 million from tip jar gaming. Maryland law says that half of this money needs to go to Washington County Fire and Rescue Association, and the other half goes to nonprofits in the area. So that's like $1.4 million going to a lot of nonprofits. 51 of them apparently qualified either in whole or in part for everything they asked for. So that'll be leading some good activities down the road. Penn State Mont Alto is still in the news. We had a feature story this week on Sheila Vieira, the young lady who lives in Fayetteville, who did the analysis on the report that the commission that recommended 7 Penn State campus closures ostensibly used to make their decisions. Her analysis indicates that quite a few of the 7, York is one, and certainly Penn State Mont Alto, are in the situation of they're in a county that's growing in population. The percentage of kids that are in the population that's growing, that are college eligible, is also growing. Just points out that there seems to be a disconnect between the reasons that they said they were closing campuses and the actual data in the report that they ostensibly used to lead them to those conclusions. So it begs a lot of other questions. Anyway, great job summarizing everything that's been going on there. In Greencastle, already mentioned Old Home Week this whole week. There's other things going on, though, as well. Local history. Our Local News 1's local history article, which comes out every Tuesday, has done a piece that talks about Old Home Weeks 51 and 99 years ago. Talks about some of the highlights of the events. So it's kind of an interesting flashback on what's going to be happening during this next week. In addition, although this is Antrim Township news, they are going to have a ribbon cutting for their natural play area, which we've covered in the past. That's going to take place also during Old Home Week at the community park, and that'll be on the 8th of August from 10 until 12. There'll be food trucks and giveaways at this event, so make sure you show up for that. Funkstown, Maryland had a reenactment of the Battle of Funkstown on the 19th and 20th of July, just recently passed. The actual battle took place on the 10th of July, 1863. It was actually part of Lee's retreat. We've already covered the Battle of Monterey Pass as being one of the key battles that took place, but there were a whole string of them, including one at Funkstown where 400 and some odd people, 473 people I think it was, were casualties in that battle. Lee, if you recall, Lee was trying to get 50,000 of his troops out, and the Union was pursuing him. So interesting there. You should contact the Funkstown committee that put that up for more information. In Waynesboro, this is an interesting story. Johnson Controls donated a thermal imaging camera to the volunteers of the Waynesboro Volunteer Fire Department. This is a great little technology. It does for firefighters what radar does for and heat seeking can do for the Air Force and airlines, for example. They can actually see through the heat, so they can see firefighters. They can see through the smoke and through everything else, and they can see where the hot spots are. They can see paths that will lead them to people that they need to try to get out. So it's great being able to see this kind of stuff. So next item up, in Blue Ridge Summit, there's a relatively new business that's opened called Market 57. It's right on Route 16, right across from the bank and the firehouse. This is actually in the building that used to be Hilltop Restaurant for many, many years, and then it was closed and subsequently renovated. And it's kind of nice to see the old building occupied again. Market 57 provides a place for local artists to share what they're producing. They also sell their wares. They have antiques. It's a bit of an eclectic collection, but there's quite a bit of interesting stuff there. So if you have an opportunity, try it out. It's got stuff from all over the region. In Washington County, the commissioners met this past Tuesday to discuss community welfare, sustainability, and growth. They also had a conversation about the 2025 Augusta Fest, and they're talking about information technology enhancements to the county. The Franklin County Commissioners met on Wednesday to hear about human service block grants and court administration. And you can actually see the details. They recorded it. You can see the details. We have the link online at localnews1.org. In police business, in Chambersburg, a 23-year-old man, Oscar Lopez Marquez, is charged with felony assault, allegedly attacking hospital staff at Chambersburg Hospital. Bail is set at $75,000. I know they give you bad news from time to time, but I'm not sure exactly why you'd attack the staff over that. But there must be more to that, but more to follow. In Franklin County, the Human Services Building received and cleared a threat on the 31st of July. Multiple police units from throughout the area took action to protect and took measures to clear the building. And they subsequently declared that there was nothing that they could find, so they were able to go back into business. But that kind of stuff is crazy. I mean, people calling in threats like that for no good reason just wastes everybody's time. In Waynesboro, the police have introduced a child passenger safety technician program. Two members of their staff, Officer Weaver and Manager Cindy Broas, have been certified in the technology associated with child seats in June and July, according to Chief Wolfgang. Excuse me. This is useful because when people first came out with child seats, it was pretty straightforward. But since then, there's been a proliferation of child seats. There have been recalls. There are a lot of different ways to attach child seats into vehicles, both forwards and backwards. So if you need advice through all that clutter that's become the child seat business, these are certified people who can give you advice on here's the right way to do it and whether or not your child seat has been recalled and whether you should replace it. Also in police news, there's going to be a national night out for police departments in Chambersburg, Waynesboro, and Williamsport. These are free events for kids and families. The intention is to strengthen ties with neighbors and with responders, which is pretty important because a number of years ago I had an opportunity to travel around to a lot of fire departments and police departments, and it's interesting that the richer the community gets, the farther away they get from the fundamentals of why you needed volunteers to help out with fires and with police in the first place. These guys are part of the community, and they really need community help to be effective. So that's going to take place on the 5th of August. There'll be music, equipment displays, food, canine demonstrations, and other activities. You should see the article. There's quite a few times. Each one of the communities has got a little different take on how they're doing it, so you should really go to the article and take a look at the times and the schedules. So if there's anything in particular that you'd like to see, you'll know exactly when you need to be there. In People News, Hagerstown's Dennis Scott, who's a former NBA player, was presented a key to the city. This is because he brought a message of hope through hard work and resilience to people in the area. Apparently had a tough time growing up, and he wasn't completely sure how his life was going to turn out, but he worked hard. And as far as the city is concerned, Mr. Scott he's a symbol. He should be a symbol to others of what you can do if you work hard and be responsive when problems are thrown in your way. Let's see. In Hagerstown, the Emeritus School of Osteopathic Medicine awarded white jackets to their first 97, their inaugural class of 97 students. This is a bit of a rite of passage as you're becoming a doctor. You know, they all wear white coats, or at least most of them do, whenever you see them. Well, getting handed your first white coat as part of being a student in medicine is a big deal. So 97 of them in their very first class got their first white jackets. That was pretty nice. In health news, at the Valley Mall, Emeritus Sports Medicine has an office. Jeffrey Sanyi says it's not just for athletes, like you might suspect. He makes the point. He's basically in the musculoskeletal business. I think I pronounced that right, which obviously impacts athletes from the standpoint of dealing with injuries, or also with trying to optimize your performance. But musculoskeletal also applies to grandma who wants to keep walking and is encountering some difficulties, so she doesn't want to pull anything and disable herself. There's a lot of other reasons why you would want this kind of stuff. The one other thing is they have a contract with Washington County, so an awful lot of student athletes who are getting ready for the new school year that's just about to come up, they can go over there and they can get their physicals. So lots to be done there. And final item for health, WellSpan. WellSpan's Dr. Michael Goldstein offers some advice on keeping babies safe in the summer. Everybody out there that's had any kids at all, you know, the very first one, you really don't know what you're doing unless you've studied it in some detail. So there's always things that you're learning. By the time you get to the second or the third kid, you pretty much got the routine down. You know pretty much what to do. But new news here. Heat in the summer is obviously a problem. And I did not know this, but babies apparently do not self-regulate their body temperatures until about the third or fourth month after birth. Something I didn't know, probably something a lot of people don't know. But anyway, there was a lot of good advice in there by the good doctor about if you got new babies and you're trying to make your way through the summer, you know, they get hot, they get irritable, but they also you need to take extra steps. You have to be responsible for their body temperature along with everything else. A lot of good recommendations in there. We've got a lot of local history every Tuesday. We got the writings of Dargan Boy. Actually, we had two interesting pieces almost back to back that dealt with a little bit with mortality. Dargan Boy had a wonderful tribute to his wife and family, and our footnotes author Andy Sandrick, who usually covers all the running events in the area, had an interesting story about how his children are presenting a real test for their 40-year-old father. Apparently the kids are catching up, and they're getting harder to catch once they get out there and they start sprinting along. So tales of mortality, both very interesting and very heartwarming. We also have other sports. You're going to see a lot coming up here pretty soon on youth football, soccer, gymnastics. We've been covering auto racing all summer. A whole lot of other activities that make up the moving mosaic that is the communities that we live in. We're very proud to be the news source for Verstandig Media and the radio stations. You can see all of this news and more on localnews1.org. It's only $4.99 a month. Highly recommend that you take a look at that. And finally, the thought of the day. When visiting a Coca-Cola factory, one should hope that there is no pop quiz. Bada bing. Have a great week.
If you'd like to be featured on an upcoming episode of Let's Talk Tri-State, call 717-597-9200 or email letstalk@921thegoat.com.